Sir, of course, a lot of these downed utilities are beyond the franchise area of your companies. But moving forward, looking forward, do we have any idea or any suggestions as to how to make these utilities more resistant to disasters? Because we keep on seeing the same problems over and over again every time there's a typhoon that comes visiting around, especially in typhoon-prone areas. Power lines are down, posts come crashing down, and cell phone networks come out. What could be a good way of making these utilities more typhoon or disaster resistant?
Well, the short answer is put it on the ground, di ba?
Yes.
Put it on the ground. So the question is, how much will it cost and who will pay for it?
Yeah.
So you cannot do it in 1 year or even 5 years. You got to have a long-term plan,
Yes, sir.
10 years, 15 years. So you could, number one, it takes a lot of effort to do this sort of thing. So you may have to focus on the key areas of this country. It will take a number of years to do it. It will cost a lot of money. So the question is, who's going to pay for it?
Yes, sir.
Is it the consumer or a bit of both? But you got to have a plan to make the infra more resilient. I thought the mantra was build better, build higher, or whatever.
Right.
Some elements of the telco network are just vulnerable, like your base stations, your towers. You just have to put them upright, di ba, in
Yes, sir.
exposed areas.
Of course.
And so we just have to make our towers more resilient to be able to withstand, I understand their standards now, higher wind velocity and the like. No? So you got to have a plan, and it's got to be a long-term plan.
Sir, balikan ko lang yung building for resilience. Nabanggit niyo yung building underground. Pinupush din yan ngayon ni Vice President Leni Robredo eh. Pero hindi ba delikado siya for earthquakes, for example? Saka kung sa the kind of devastation we are seeing now, dito sa mga wasak na wasak, mas madali ba na umpisahan na mag-build na nga underground?
The answer is yes, no? Because will the infra be better protected underground than exposed? The answer is obviously yes, no? It's not as easy as it looks, no? Because let's say for Meralco, to undertake putting all of the wires underground, dapat sama-sama na yun eh. Because yung Meralco posts are being used by the companies. They're also being used by all of the telcos.
Right.
Nasabit yung kanilang wires dun eh. So, if everybody puts their system underground, including, by the way, the water concessionaires, no? Because they're already underground, di ba? Yeah. So, kung sabay-sabay na yun, then you could share the cost of the infra. But you have to have approval of the regulator. We just cannot do it. Because the capex of Meralco is approved every time there is a regulatory period of, 4 or 5 years. So that's part of your capex of Meralco. So if you want to include that, and I think there have been various proposals to do that in the past, we just need approvals.
Hindi naman mataas yung vulnerability to earthquakes. Kasi yun naman ang kinasabi. Kapag nasa taas, vulnerable sa bagyo. Pag nasa baba daw, vulnerable sa earthquake. Ano ba yung masayo?
Masaya yung poste mo, babagsak yun in an earthquake, di ba?
Sa bagay.
Yes, sir.
And we haven't seen the big one to this earthquake. There have been scenarios developed by PDRF. There's a big one, I think if I recall, about 70% the info will be out for Metro Manila. And then we don't have an evacuation plan. I hate to be a Cassandra. Here, evacuation plan, saan natin lalagay mga tao, di ba?
Yes.
You know where to put hundreds of thousands of people if an earthquake was to strike Metro Manila.
Well, sir, yes, sir. It is a huge undertaking to put all these things underground. Pero let me ask you na rin po, what does it take to get things started, or are we ready to go in that direction?
We should be ready anytime, di ba? And I mean, there's nothing as good as now to prepare for it because we know inherently we are on the path of typhoons. No?
Yes, sir.
We just don't know where it's going to strike and how many, di ba, will visit this country each year.
Yes, sir.
I think luckily before Odette, most of the typhoons were up north, di ba?
Yeah.
So I thought actually it was a good year for the Philippines until this thing
Yeah.
But I can just imagine the massiveness of the undertaking, getting to coordinate with all these other utilities para isang hukayan lang ba? Kasi kung hindi, kung
Yes.
iwahiwalay na hukayan, rumble yan eh.
Correct, correct. No, you're right. And because it has got to be buried in the right depth. To Ami's point, di ba? What is the proper depth so that you also prepare for earthquakes, no? Di ba?
How do you think the fact that this happened in a time of pandemic, did that affect the relief operations in any way? I mean, I would imagine, for example, that there would be donor fatigue by now. Did you experience that? You just wonder, di ba? Kasi ang tagal ng call for help, especially, even before this typhoon. Tapos nag-typhoon pa. Parang doble tulong.
I think part of the problem, Lucy, is precisely the holidays, no? So medyo mahirap
yes.
to isingin ng mga tao,
Right.
no? Pangalawa, you cannot have donor fatigue pag ganito, di ba? You cannot, they just need help, period, di ba? So whatever we can do, as Robbie said earlier, from the smallest of help to the biggest of help that we can render, I think that will be appreciated. Right? People will appreciate that. No? So, yun lang. Yung siguro may konting hirap in terms of distribution, our people, but our people go there. We have prepositioned people, we have prepositioned relief goods and the like. Not enough, I must say. That's why we have this telethon to reinforce the funding part of it as well. No?
We'll leave you the final word for this segment. Baka meron po kayong mensahe sa mga nanonood.
Well, di ba we spoke to both Signal TV5 about this telethon as a serious way of, I think, awakening our people to the sad facts of this typhoon. And I do hope that my appeal to everyone is whatever help you can give, whether in cash or in kind, will be much appreciated, I'm sure, no? By us, we're trying our best to help, and of course by the victims of the typhoon. No? So, and we should supply some measure of joy and celebration to the victims as much as we can. Yeah. So, but thank you for this telethon helping out. No.